Ben 10 is one of the few franchises that has continued to stay popular even when there's no new content being put out. This is mainly due to the community surrounding the show, who put out breakdowns, fan series, fan art, and much more. So it's no surprise that during its heyday, the show has expanded to every part of the media sphere. There's everything from Ben 10 movies, crossover specials, game shows, toys, and for some weird reason, Ben 10 themed socks. The category I left out is of course games. Ben 10 has had a plethora of video games ranging from games for the classic series to games for the reboot, ranging from platforms like the Nintendo DS to the PS5 to Adobe Flash. And some of you will have several fond memories of playing those games, whether it be playing Protector of Earth on the PS2 or if your parents didn't love you, playing Ben 10 on the Hyperscan. Most of the games weren't really the best, looking at them from an objective and critical viewpoint, but after all, they were licensed games, mostly aimed at younger children, being put out on multiple platforms with the same name. But that isn't to say that there haven't been any objectively good Ben 10 games. Protector of Earth is one of the most beloved Ben 10 games, along with Cosmic Destruction, and even the latest Ben 10 game Power Trip was pretty cool for its open world and actual super speed. I also have to give a shout out to the Flash games, which are honestly just really fun games. Ben 10 Jet Ski Dash was the peak of my childhood. There are also some incredible efforts being made by fans in making great games, even now. Anyways, with all that said, I thought about what the perfect Ben 10 game would be for me, but when that question comes up, it's important to also understand what the possible problems are that arise when making a Ben 10 game and how we can solve them. So I'll be going over all that, and by the end of this video, there'll be a perfect Ben 10 game waiting for you. We're going to discuss everything from the alien playlist to the map, traversal, story, gameplay, art style, and much more. So let me present to you Ben 10 Shattered Dimensions. Oh wait, okay, you get to decide the name for the game. Let me know in the comments. The biggest problem that comes up is of course the fact that every single alien can't be playable. There are about 50 aliens and most of them have very different powers, and from a developer standpoint, it would be difficult to implement all of the aliens and their abilities into a game without breaking it. This though is very simple to fix, as you would only have to include about 10 aliens and it would be true to the source material. The next question is how the aliens would become playable in the game. The best idea would be to make the aliens unlockable as you progress throughout the game. Almost every Ben 10 game so far has dealt with this in such a way where Ben just picks up orbs that lets him get new aliens. Some with a story explanation for why it's happening and some without one. It just wouldn't be very good game design to let Ben have all the aliens from the beginning. The type of game world would of course be an open world, and Power Trip has shown us that it is possible. Overall, Power Trip is one of the better Ben 10 games, but I feel it still lacks a proper open world, and I'm not asking for something similar to GTA 5 or Red Dead 2. I just want some more density, character, and variety. But the same idea of an open world should be applicable for this game. This could really help showcase the aliens, as there could be varied situations. Like imagine you had to race through the map against a Kinacelerin, or you had to put out fires as heat blasts, some stuff like that. But of course, this is all easier said than done, as most open worlds promise so much and actually end up being empty, bland maps. Now that we are talking about the open world, we might as well discuss the setting of the game. But before that, my dentist said he wouldn't steal my teeth if I reach 20 million subscribers, so please help me and subscribe. We're like 99% of the way there. The game's setting could be a situation like in LEGO Marvel Superheroes 2, where somehow parts of several different planets could have been taken and merged into one place, and that would serve as the map. It might sound a bit goofy, but this would allow for some proper variety in the world, and therefore varied missions and environments and more. So for the setting of the game, I would want it to be a mix of several different planet regions as one map, with each being varied just like LEGO Marvel Superheroes 2. And for the sake of this video, let's just say that there's some brand new villain messing with different dimensions, causing a multi-dimensional convergence of sort, where different planets get merged together and Ben's planet just happens to be one. There could be different biomes, and some of them could be the homeworlds of aliens we know. We might as well plan out what the story should be now as well. Also, if you have an original idea for a story, you could tell me in the comments. The story can only be properly conveyed with good visuals, of course. I don't think there's any need to take it in a realistic direction though, because ultra realism isn't always the best. I would prefer graphics that are like Power Trip or the first Omniverse game or even Protector of Earth. More cartoony visuals would make the game more faithful to the source material, and if you go for something cel shaded, it could be a unique touch. The other important thing is of course the traversal, and I think this just has so many opportunities. One fault I did find with Power Trip was that even though the traversal, which was kind of non-existent in previous Ben 10 games, is good here, it's still difficult to control, and it doesn't feel as smooth as other games I've played where you're moving at super speed or on a vehicle. It just feels less controllable. Anyways, one of the most obvious ways for traversal would be Accelerate, or more generally, a super speed alien. This is something Power Trip did well, where Accelerate is significantly faster than other aliens. We would of course also need a flying alien, and this could go any way. We could choose Jet Ray, Astrodactyl, Amphibian, but I personally would choose Big Chill as he's just plain cool. Get it? He's just plain cool. The joke is that he's just, since this is an all expectations game, let's just say that you can also go underwater. And for swimming, I would choose Ripjaws. He would be a good underwater only alien that can't survive for long above ground. Since we've already discussed all these aliens, why don't we just make up a whole playlist for the game? These aliens are from my perspective, so let me know what aliens you would like. As we've discussed, there's already going to be Ripjaws, Big Chill and Accelerate. For electric powers, I would choose Feedback, and his ability to go through power lines would add to the movement possibilities. Goop is my next pick as he's a really versatile alien, and I could think of some cool moves for him. There needs to be a straight up brawler, and it's between Forearms, Wrath and Kick and Hawk. But I choose Wrath as he's really iconic, and Forearms has already been in games, and Wrath has the perfect wrestler energy. Next, using a little thing I like to call personal bias, I choose Spider Monkey, and he could have some good moves and traversal as well. We do need a plant-based alien, and I think it's between Wildvine or Swampfire, and I could go either way on this. I don't really like the newer version of Swampfire, so I'm gonna go with Wildvine. We have to have Upchuck of course, as he could eat projectiles and shoot them back, and it would add an extra level of interactivity to the game world. For the final alien, I would choose either Gravattack or Diamond Head. Even though Gravattack has some really cool powers, upon thinking about it, I don't think there could be many cool moves for him. So I'm gonna go with Diamond Head. Even though he's been included in most of the Ben 10 games, I feel like Diamond Head is just too iconic not to include. Too bad for Forearms though. In addition to this, I think there could be a boss fights or certain mission specific aliens like Alien X or Nanomech or Waybig or Clockwork or others. Obviously, I've gone for variety here rather than consistency, but I think this playlist could be really fun. So now that we've discussed everything there is to discuss, let me just give you a core outline of the gameplay as a whole. As I specified in my story, which is in the description, there would be alien DNA pods scattered around different biomes and also collectibles central to the main story scattered around as well. This would encourage the player to explore in such a way that they progress. Combat would be pretty basic with a light and heavy attack, combos and special attacks. For some aliens, we could use a focus bar to do special moves. The enemies would of course depend on the biome you are in, but there could also be a group of lackeys for the villains attacking you. In addition to that, I think there should be a specific group of aliens chasing you down, like an assassin group, and the members of that group could act as mini boss fights, kind of like in Jedi Fallen Order. There would of course be side quests where you have to help certain aliens or help the plumbers or something like that as well. I think Ben should be able to attack as well, as he's been training, but his attacks wouldn't be as strong as the aliens. There could be certain aliens that have stronger attacks in certain biomes or against certain enemies, like weaknesses. And finally, I think there should not be an alien timeout, just a health bar that's common to all aliens, and if you die, you have to restart. Now, one of the most popular and logical ways to make a Ben 10 game like this would of course be to make a Lego game. And this makes perfect sense, as Lego games are made with huge character rosters in mind, and they have a lot of charm. I would have said that Lego games can't be that high quality in departments other than gameplay, but I stand corrected because of what the Lego Skywalker Saga game showed us, with great visuals and voice acting and great mechanics. So apparently they're not as loved by everybody. And with a Lego game, we could even have basically all the aliens and other characters as well, so it could be extremely fun. And this is the most realistic way a Ben 10 game of the scale I mentioned could be made, so I'm all for a Ben 10 Lego game, being able to play as all the aliens. But I have to say that a normal non-Lego game would have its place, as it could be more story focused, and Ben 10 can tell some amazing stories, and the world would feel more unique, and gameplay could be made even better with a smaller selection of characters. But honestly, a proper Ben 10 game is really unlikely, and I'm fine with literally anything. And just like that, we have a full Ben 10 game, all planned out. Now, if there's any game studio out there whose name does not start with E and does not end with A, who would like to adapt this, that would be very cool. You know what else is very cool? You, for watching this far. Thank you. No matter what, I know that we can't make anything better than Ben 10 Omniverse 2. It just set the bar too high. Let me end off with some riveting, speedy, accelerate gameplay.